Let me just check what time it is here in the UK. It's just coming up to 8 o'clock. So this is what I do every morning, just to keep my body free of pain and stiffness. I'm a somatic movement practitioner, and I've been doing these classes for a number of years now, since 2017. So the reason that I found somatics is because I had severe lower back pain, and there's nothing that I could do to actually relieve the pain. So I found somatics, and this is the only thing that works. Nothing else works to release all those tight muscles in the body. So I'm going to get on my little yoga mat over there in a second, and I'm going to show you. So if you'd like to follow me, and you'll experience complete peace and released back when you've finished, and you'll actually feel a lot taller. You know, when you stand up, you feel a lot taller. So if anybody out there has got a real chronic lower back pain or a tight back, or you can feel that sciatic pain coming on in the lower area there, these are just some really simple moves that you can use. So I'm just going to go on to my yoga mat now, and I'm going to take you through these very slow mindful movements, and they're absolutely ideal for anybody that can't do yoga or all those different things. So anyway, I'm going to go on that now and show you. So if you just want to follow me, so you can lay down on a yoga mat if you've got one, or a blanket. You can fold a blanket up and put that down on the floor, or anything really, anything that you like that's just going to soften the hard floor. So we're going to just lay down on our backs. And I just want you to lay with your legs long. So lay with your legs long and your arms down by your side. And what we're going to do is we're going to just do a quick check-in with our body. So if you just want to close your eyes, and we're going to sense an internal sensory system and find out what's going on in the body. So just have a feeling of how your feet are displayed there now. Do you feel that your feet are both turned outwards evenly? Do you think that they're both pointing up at the ceiling? Do you think that one might be flopped out and the other one might be straight? Just have that sense and that feeling. So just if you want to now, just lift your head up and have a look down at your feet, and just see if what you were sensing is actually right. So I'm going to come back down now and do a quick body scan. We always do a quick body scan before we start, because then when we've finished, we know how we were to begin with and how we feel afterwards, and we'll notice a massive difference. So just feel how your hips feel and your buttocks, and how they're laying there on the floor now. Do they feel even? Or do you feel that one buttock might be pressing down into the floor a little bit more than the other side? So one side might feel heavier. You might feel a little bit of imbalance, or you'll feel that your back's twisted or your pelvis is twisted. So now I want you to come to this section here, which is the lower arch of the back, and just pop your hands and your fingers just underneath there, and just check that space there to see how much space there is. So you may have a really big arch there, or your back might be completely flat to the floor. You might be struggling to get your fingers in there, but just notice that space, because believe me, that space is going to change just after a few of these movements. So now come to your shoulders. If there's any imbalance in your shoulders, you should be feeling it now. So one shoulder might be down into the floor more than the other one. Both of them might be right down and your tops of your shoulders are actually on the floor. Or if your shoulders are rounded, your shoulders will be off the floor. And then just come to your neck and your head. And how does your head feel? Which part of your head is actually touching the floor? Is it the centre of your head? Do you feel as though your head is flopped out to one side? There might be a bit of imbalance there. So now we're going to go into our first move. So I gently want you to slide your right foot, bending your knee, slide your right foot up towards your hips. And then I want you to slide your left foot also. Don't lift it, I want you to slide it. So slide that foot along the mat. Okay, so now you'll find that you're going to be rocking into where your back, the whole of your lower back is now flat to the floor, and we're going to begin. So this first move is called arch and flatten, and this helps to release all the muscles in the lower back and also the muscles in your stomach and your abdomen. And believe me, when you've been doing a few of these, you'll find that your stomach, and this is very true, your stomach is actually flatter. So we're going to create an arch in the lower back. So I'm going to move my arm out of the way so you can see what's happening here. So we're going to roll the pelvis so that we create an arch. So your tummy will go up towards the ceiling and you'll be creating an archway underneath here. So all that's on the floor now is your shoulders, across your shoulders, and your buttocks, and we're creating an arch. And now I want you to slowly start to lower that arch. We're not doing it fast, this is slow. Slow mindful movements always works. So I'm taking at least 10 seconds to lower that arch back down to the floor. And then we fully relax. We don't do repetitive movements where you're going forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards. We don't do that in somatics. So we'll rest there for 3 seconds and then we'll go again. So we're going to create the arch in the lower back. The tummy goes up towards the ceiling. And then we pause, and then we just slowly start to bring the back down to the floor. And as soon as the whole of the back comes into contact with the floor, I want you to relax. And we're going to go again. So create the arch in the lower back. The tummy goes up towards the ceiling. And then we pause. And then slowly start to lower that lower back down. When it comes into contact with the mat, we completely relax and let it all go. And we're going to go again. Create the arch in the lower back. The tummy goes up towards the ceiling. And you might feel now that you can actually create a bigger arch than you did when you first started. And then we're going to slowly lower that down. And then fully relax. We're going to do one more. So we're going to create the arch in the lower back. The tummy goes up towards the ceiling. And you might have gone a little bit further this time. And then we're going to slowly lower the arch back down to the floor. And then we're going to fully relax. Okay, so now, and the next move is an arch and curl. So we're going to take the hands and we're going to just put them at the back of the head, we can clasp the fingers together and put them at the back of the head. If you can't do that for some reason, let's say your shoulders or your arms are hurting, then you can just pop your fingers behind your ears and let your arms flop out to the side. Your elbows anyway. So in this next move, so make sure that your feet are tucked up towards your hips, so knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. And we're going to create the arch again that we've just done. So create the arch in the lower back. The tummy goes up towards the ceiling. And then slowly, slowly lower that back down again. And as soon as the back comes into contact with the floor, we're going to lift the head up and we're going to look between the knees. And then slowly, slowly lower back down again, nice and slow and mindful. And then completely relax with your fingers still behind your head. Okay, we're going to go again. Create the arch in the lower back. The tummy goes up towards the ceiling. Slowly, slowly lower the arch back down again. As soon as the back comes into contact with the floor, we're going to lift the head and we're going to look between the knees. And then slowly, slowly release that back down. And make sure it is nice and slow. Don't do anything quick in somatics. And then fully relax. And we're going to do one more. Create the arch in the lower back. And then slowly start to release it back down again. Nice and slow, mindful. As soon as the whole of the back comes into contact with the floor, we're going to lift the head. And we're going to look between the knees. And then we're going to go all the way back down again, nice and slow. And let your arms flop and fully relax. Okay, so now I want you to just go back to the beginning where we were just laying with our legs down long. So I want you to slide your right leg down long and then your left leg down long. And I just want you to check in now, if you want to close your eyes and just see if you can feel a difference at all in your lower back. So you might notice that the space between the arch and the actual back floor here, so you'll probably feel as though your back is now in contact with the floor, whereas before you might have had a big arch there, or your arch might feel a little bit lower to the floor and the space won't be as big as it was before we started. So that's just to show you how powerful somatics is. It might be slow, might be mindful, but it's very powerful and it does release this lower back. So now we're going to do the side bend. So your sides of the body can sometimes be tight. The hips might be, probably feel as though one leg's longer than the other because you've got a pelvic tilt. So in order to get rid of that, what we need to do is go onto our side now. So I'm just going to bend my arm here and I'm going to just tuck my arm underneath my head. I'm going to draw my knees up and then just let the lower legs go straight. And I want you looking forward. So I don't want you looking down, I want you looking forward because we need to keep this head and this neck straight. So what we're going to do is we're going to create like an arch in the side. We're going to do like a side bend. So this arm is going to go over the top of the head we're going to lift the head up a minute, and the fingers are going to touch the top of your ear. So we're going to lie there like this, and then we're going to move. So we're going to lift the head up, and then we're going to slowly lower it back down again. Now, when we're doing this, you'll probably notice that you're bending your side muscles, and you'll feel those muscles engaging in the side. So if you lift your head again, you'll feel those side muscles, which here, you'll feel there's a little engagement with the muscles. And then we're going to slowly release back down again. And the second part to this is the lower leg. So I want you to keep your knees glued together. Imagine that they're glued together so they don't come apart. And the lower foot is going to lift up off the floor. So the top foot is going to lift up off the top of the floor and go up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to slowly lower that leg down. So this is going to have an action in this hip joint here. So this really helps to loosen the hip joint up and any tight muscles there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put those two movements together now. So I'm going to pop my arm back underneath my head. So my fingers are touching the top of my ear. So at the same time now we're going to do both of those moves at the same time. So I'm going to lift my head up and my leg up at the same time. And pause, and then we're going to slowly release. Now where somatics actually works is the release. So we need to make the release nice and slow. And relax. And we're going to go again. We're going to lift the head and the upper foot up towards the ceiling. Create that arch in that side muscles, and then we're going to slowly release. And then fully relax. And we're going to go again. Lift the head and the lower leg up towards the ceiling. Create that arch in the side muscles there. And then we're going to slowly release them. Nice and slow. We never rush any of these movements. So now what we're going to do, we've done 3 of those now, so you should have released quite a lot of the muscles on this side here. So now I'm going to turn over. So if you want to turn over, so I'm going to slide my legs down long, and I'm going to go over onto my tummy to go over onto the other side. So we're going to do exactly the same again. So we're going to tuck the arm underneath the head, lift the knees up, swing the lower legs out a little bit. So it's as if you're sitting on a chair. So then the hand at the top is going to go over the top of the head, and the fingers will be touching the top of your ear. Okay, so we're going to lift the head up, and the lower foot is going to go up towards the ceiling. So keeping both of the knees glued together, and then slowly start to release those muscles back down again. So releasing all the muscles in the side of the body around the waist area. And we're going to go again. So we're going to lift the head. At the same time, you're going to lift your foot up towards the ceiling, keeping the knees both together. And then slowly release. And fully relax. And we're going to go again a 3rd time. We're going to lift the head and that foot up towards the ceiling. And feel those muscles in the side of your waist engaging. And it's going to be releasing your hip muscles and your side waist muscles. and then slowly, slowly relax. Okay, so the next move is, I'm going to go over onto the tummy now. So if you want to pop your left hand underneath your ear, so I'm going to be looking left. Okay, so we're going to go laying face down. I'm going to look towards my left shoulder, and my left hand is going to go underneath my right ear. Okay, and then your right arm is just going to like go down by your side. So this move is called a back lift, and it's going to release all more muscles in the back. Okay, so the first part of this move is we're going to lift the head and the arm up towards the ceiling, and then slowly release back down. So that's the first part. The second part is we're going to lift the right leg. And now when you do this, I want you to keep your right leg straight. I don't want you bending your knee. So we're going to lift the leg straight up. So underneath your pelvic bone will be lifting off the floor. Okay, and we're going to take that back down nice and slow, and then fully relax. So now we're going to put those two moves together. So at the same time, we're going to be lifting the head and the arm up and the leg up at the same time. And remember, when you're lifting your leg, keep it straight so that it's actually lifting the pelvic bone off the floor. And then slowly, slowly release back down again. And fully relax. So I'm going to do one more. Lift the head and the arm at the same time as you're lifting your leg. Keep that leg straight. And then slowly, slowly release all those muscles back down again. And fully relax. Now we're going to do the other side. So this time you're going to be putting your left arm down by your side, and your right hand is going to go underneath your left ear. So I want you to turn your head towards your right shoulder, and your left ear is now resting on your right hand. Okay, so we're going to do that move again. So we're going to be lifting the head and the arm up towards the ceiling, and at the same time we're going to be lifting the left leg straight so that the pelvis underneath here is off the floor, and then slowly, slowly release that back down again, and then fully relax. And then we're going to go again. Lift the head and the elbow up towards the ceiling at the same time as you lift your straight leg up, your left leg up. And then slowly, slowly release that back down again. And then fully relax. Okay. So now we're going to turn over. We're going to lay down with our legs long again, like we did when we first started, and we're just going to rest here for a moment and just do a full body scan just to see how the body is feeling now. So just tune into how you think your feet are displayed on the floor. Notice if your calf muscles or your hamstrings are actually touching the backs of your thighs there. Are they touching the mat? How's your pelvis feeling? Is it feeling any different to when you first started? So with your pelvis, if you felt that there was any imbalance at all, if you were feeling a little bit lopsided, or one side was, digging into the ground more than the other side, you might have actually freed that up and it might feel even now. And then also notice the space underneath here, underneath your lower arch of your back. That should be a lot lower to the floor, if not touching the floor now. Let your arms rest. And then just notice your shoulders. Do your shoulders feel as though they're in more contact with the floor than they were before? And your head. Does that feel any different? Is your head touching the floor in the centre now, if it was slightly off to one side before? I know mine is. Okay, so that's just a nice quick somatic move that you can actually do every morning, just to completely loosen everything up. So you'll notice all those simple moves that we did there was only 4. So if you remember, there was the arch and flatten, then there was the arch and curl, then there was the side bends and the back lift. There are lots more movements that we can actually use to free up lots of different parts of our body. So I do lots of different classes. I've also got a website where I'm actually adding my videos to. There's some classes on there if you want to purchase them. And my actual website is Gentle Somatic Yoga.uk. So that's Gentle Somatic Yoga.uk. That I'm going to hopefully be doing a live every morning for you, or recording a few videos and then putting them in my little bio where all my little videos are. So if you want to follow me and like my videos, then I'll be bringing more for you on a daily basis, so you can join in with me in the early morning, or you can watch my pre-recorded videos as well at any time that you like. So it'll be suitable for anybody in any time zone. So what I want you to do now, if you followed the movements, if you've actually been doing them with me, obviously with me being on the mat I can't actually see my screen, but I will have a little look in a minute. So if you, excuse me, I can't even remember what I was saying now, but anyway, so if any of you want to ask any questions, just pop them in the comments box. I'd really appreciate that, and I can answer your questions as and when I can. All right. So what I want you to do now, so if you have been following the moves and you've actually been doing them with me, if you want to have a stand up now and have a walk around for a couple of minutes, walk through your house nice and slowly, or go outside and walk up and down your garden, or wherever you can, just to see if you're feeling a little bit more fluid. And you will notice that even all these movements actually even change the way that you walk and the way that you stand and your posture. It helps to restore all your core muscles that hold everything where it should be, so that it doesn't, so you don't get any tightness pulling you back out. Because what happens is when you start doing repetitive movements and you start getting those feelings of your sciatic kicking in, and it's got the pain going through the buttock and down the leg, or all of a sudden you get up one morning, you can't crick your back and you pull it out, and you think, oh, you're just like crawling around on the floor because you can't move. That's because those lower back muscles have tightened up that much that there's no giving them. It's like they're like really tight, rigid pieces of muscle, and they're going to be pulling those bones out of line. So if we make them nice and soft, the whole of the body will be able to move with ease and be able to be really flexible, and we'll be able to bend and twist and do lots of different things that we've not done before because we've had all this chronic pain and all this stiffness. So somatics helps to mindfully and slowly release all the muscles in the core and the whole of the body, arms, legs, everything, all the muscles. And there's a massive array of different routines that I do that can help with lots and lots of different parts. So if anybody's got any questions for any specific areas of their body that somatics can help with, then just please pop them in the comments, and then I will try and get round to obviously having a look and I'll answering your questions. Okay, so I'm hopefully trying to do these on a regular basis now for you, and I shall hopefully be seeing you tomorrow. Okay then, guys. So I'm just going to have a quick look at my comments now. It's very sunny in here. I hope that recorded. I don't even know if I'm still on live. It's the first live I've ever done.